Good afternoon and welcome to Express News. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Let's begin with the story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday reiterated India's stance of never compromising the interest of its farmers at the inauguration of MS Swaminathan Centenary International Conference in New Delhi. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Modi said Dr. Swaminathan went beyond biodiversity and gave the visionary concept of bio-happiness. On the occasion, Prime Minister also released a commemorative coin and a centenary memorial stamp dedicated to Professor MS Swaminathan. Prime Minister presented the MS Swaminathan Award for Food and Peace to Professor Admola Adnele of Nigeria, who has led 15 years of pioneering research on genetically modified organisms in Africa. India has fired back at US Trump's additional 25% tariff move, said that New Delhi had already made clear its stance on imports from Russia. India's External Affairs Ministry in a statement said US has in recent days targeted India's oil imports from Russia. Brazilian President Lula da Silva plans to call Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday to discuss the high tariffs being imposed by the United States on many countries of the Global South, including India and Brazil. President Lula is also seeking more business and trade with India. During the ongoing monsoon session of the Parliament of India, Lok Sabha, which is the lower house, was adjourned multiple times on Thursday amid ruckus by the opposition members. Amid the uproar by the opposition, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman laid on the table explanatory statement showing reasons for immediate legislation by promulgation of the Manipur Goods and Services Tax Amendment Ordinance 2025. Lok Sabha passed the Manipur Goods and Services Tax Amendment Bill 2025 on Thursday. The bill introduced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman aims further to amend the Manipur Goods and Services Tax Act 2017. Amid uproar by the opposition, Rajya Sabha, or the upper house of the parliament, passed the Coastal Shipping Bill 2025. After discussion, both houses were adjourned for the day. Chief of the Australian Army, Lieutenant General Simon Stewart, is scheduled to visit India from August 10 to 14th, where he will engage in high-level discussions with General Upendra Dwivedi, Chief of Army Staff, Indian Army, and other senior officials of Ministry of Defence. 2 CRPF personnel died, 16 injured after CRPF vehicles skid off the road and fell down a deep gorge in Basantgarh, part of Jammu and Kashmir's Udhampur district on Thursday. Rescue operations began. The injured were shifted to nearby hospital for treatment. And Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha took to social media, expressed grief over the loss of CRPF personnel due to an accident near Udhampur. He added that senior officials have been directed to ensure the best possible care and assistance. Union Minister for Women and Child Development Annapurna Devi inaugurated the second edition of UN Women's flagship capacity building program, She Leads 2, workshop for women leaders in New Delhi on Thursday. The Election Commission of India has notified the schedule for vice presidential elections. The Commission has mentioned September 9th as the scheduled day for VP poll. Zubair Malhotra has been invited to President of India's at-home reception at Rashtrapati Bhavan on Independence Day. He is being honoured for his exemplary work in implementing Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana in Wokha district of Nagaland. The IT Conclave 2025 was inaugurated in New Delhi on Thursday. Speaking at the event, Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways Sarbananda Sonowal said that digital transformation is powering Bharat's Viksit maritime sector. India is celebrating the 11th National Handloom Day today. On the occasion, a 3-day India International Handwoven Expo began at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended heartfelt wishes to the nation on the occasion of National Handloom Day, celebrating the vibrant legacy of India's weaving traditions. India's Ministry of Culture is set to launch a week-long cleanliness campaign titled Har Ghar Tiranga, Har Ghar Swachhata from August 8 to 15, 2025 in celebration of Independence Day. Indian equity indices Sensex settled marginally higher, recovered from 750 points from day's low, gains over 80 points to settle at 80,623. And Nifty also rebounded from a fall of 221 points to reclaim the 24,500 level. Indian rupee falls 3 paise to close at 87.70 against US dollar on Thursday. Gold futures maturing on October 3rd were priced at Rs 1,01,539 per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for September 5th maturity stood at Rs 1,14,961 per kilogram on the MCX. A survey conducted by Reserve Bank of India shows that India's merchandise imports grew twice than exports in current financial year. Oil prices steadied on Thursday after Kremlin announced Trump-Putin meeting. Brent crude futures were up 0.3% at $67 per barrel. Asian equities rose on Thursday as investors looked past Donald Trump's threat to impose 100% tariffs on semiconductors. Tokyo, Hong Kong, Singapore, Seoul, Bangkok, Jakarta and Wellington were all in the green. Japan's Topix index closed at record high on Thursday after worries about the impact of American tariffs eased. The broader Topix rose 0.72% to 2,987 and the Nikkei climbed 0.65%. The euro hit a fresh high against a weakening dollar on Thursday. The euro rose 0.14% to its highest level since July 28th. US President Donald Trump said he has no knowledge that United States imports Russian chemicals and fertilizers. Trump still thinks that Indian economy is dependent on Russian oil and doesn't care if New Delhi has diversified its energy needs. Trump also said that he would impose a 100% tariff on computer chips and semiconductors, but added that companies that manufacture computer chips in the country would be spared. Meanwhile, Taiwanese chip-making giant TSMC is exempt from Trump's 100% tariff on semiconductor chips. As Taiwan's main exporter, TSMC has factories in the United States. South Korea's top trade envoy Yo Han-koo announced on Thursday that major chip makers Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix will be exempted from 100% US tariffs on semiconductors. Trump announced that Apple will invest an additional $100 billion in the US, a move which could help it sidestep potential tariffs on iPhones. Donald Trump could meet Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin very soon following the talks between his special envoy and the Russian leader in Moscow. In a post on Truth Social, Trump also said his special envoy Steve Witkoff had made great progress in his meeting with Russian President Putin. Witkoff met Putin for around 3 hours on a last-minute mission to seek a breakthrough in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. US is still expected to impose secondary sanctions against Russia on Friday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he plans to discuss a ceasefire and a leaders' summit on long-term security with Germany, France and Italy on Thursday. Debris fell on an oil refinery in Russia's Krasnodar region and caused fire on Thursday. Russian Defense Ministry said it shot down 9 Ukrainian drones over the region overnight. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will convene his security cabinet on Thursday at his office in Jerusalem and is expected to approve fresh plans for the continuation of the conflict in Gaza. South Korea and the United States will conduct major joint military drills starting on the 18th of August. The 11-day annual exercise is called Alchi Freedom Shield. South Korean investigators requested a warrant on Thursday to arrest former First Lady Kim Kyun-hee on corruption charges, raising the possibility that she could join ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol in detention. Thailand and Cambodia on Thursday agreed to extend a ceasefire deal that followed 5 days of hostilities along their border last month. At least 43 people were killed in the conflict that ended last Tuesday. Thousands of Cambodian migrant workers have fled Thailand following deadly border clashes. Cambodia's Labour Ministry has reported over 750,000 returnees since July 24, citing safety fears and alleged attacks on migrants. Ghana's Defence Minister Edward Umane Boama died in a military helicopter crash on Wednesday, along with 4 other officials and 3 Air Force crew. Hundreds of migrants departed in a caravan from the southern Mexican city of Tapachula on Wednesday, aiming to relocate to other cities within the country or seek settlement options abroad. At least 5 people were killed and 29 injured after a suspension bridge at the tourist attraction in northwest China's Xinjiang broke. US police have released a photo of an army sergeant suspected of shooting and wounding 5 soldiers on Wednesday at Fort Stewart Hunter Army Airfield near Savannah, Georgia. All 5 soldiers are in stable condition following the incident. United Airlines aircraft were grounded at the Chicago O'Hare International Airport during a tech outage on Wednesday evening. The airline said that a technology issue has been resolved. And we're heading for a short break in Express News. There's more coming up.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Let's resume. Chief Minister of India's northern state of Uttarakhand, Pushkar Singh Dhami, met with disaster response force and administrative officials in Uttarkashi to review the progress in rescue operations after cloudbursts caused havoc. Chief Minister Dhami also ordered to monitor the supply of drinking water and food grains, along with early restoration of roads, communication and electricity. CM Dhami visited disaster-affected patients admitted at Uttarkashi Hospital. The Chief Minister inquired about their well-being and recovery. Meanwhile, Army teams rushed to aid victims after cloudburst, offering medical help and rescue support. Army dogs were airlifted and joined the personnel in search for survivors. As part of the Uttarkashi disaster relief operation, rescued individuals were airlifted on Thursday from Dehradun via Chinook helicopter. Medical checkups are being conducted at the airport. Despite massive landslides and debris, the Border Road Organization is relentlessly working to restore the Gangotri National Highway. Over 270 people have been rescued from Dharali following the devastating cloudburst that triggered massive flash floods and landslides in the area. The India Met Department has forecast heavy rainfall to continue over Uttarakhand, making it more difficult for rescue operations to continue. A 3.9 magnitude earthquake hit Rajasthan's Pratapgarh district on Thursday, reported by the National Centre for Seismology. French firefighters battle for second day to control the biggest wildfire in nearly 8 decades. The fire has spread over 16,000 hectares and has killed one person. The heat wave due to French fire broke the record number of animals taken in Wildlife Rescue Centre of Paris. Heavy rain triggers floods in China's Guangdong. Rescue operations are ongoing as crew clear debris and evacuate residents from the flooded buildings. And firefighters in California are trying to control the Guilford fire that has burned through the Los Padres National Forest. As per California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, the fire has burnt more than 83,000 acres. It's developed from multiple smaller fires along the highway number 166. United States Geological Survey showed Hawaii's Kilauea volcano eruption forming lava fountains and smoke inside the summit caldera. In other news, China unveiled its first robo-mall in Beijing featuring humanoid waiters, a robo-band along with pharmacy and a warehouse ahead of the 2025 World Robot Conference. In a Tokyo studio, shibari master Hajime Kinoko taught the intricate art of Japanese rope bondage, focusing on aesthetics over kink. The shibari master workshops aim to reframe the practice as a form of visual expression like painting with rope. In Honduras, entrepreneurs have started an eco-friendly project turning used cooking oil into dog food and pet soap. The project collects oil waste from local markets, helping in reducing water pollution. Scientists discovered a vibrant oasis of chemical-eating creatures 9,500 meters below the surface in the Pacific Ocean. American musician David Arthur Brown makes microphones in a small Russian factory and sells them around the world. Even with trade troubles, his business keeps going strong. With a team of about 60 workers, the company makes microphones by hand from scratch at its factory in Moscow. Darth Vader's lightsaber, used to chop off Luke Skywalker's hand in Star Wars classic The Empire Strikes Back, is on display in London ahead of their US sale next month. The prop store auction also features Indiana Jones' whip and Sauron's helmet. Fans can now view these iconic props before they head to auction in the United States. India is set to celebrate the Hindu festival of Rakhi on 9th of August. It is celebrated by tying a sacred thread around the wrist of brothers that protects them from all dangers. Prime Video announced that the supernatural horror investigation series Andhera is set to premiere on August 14th. Comedy drama movie Rental Family Trailer is out. Oscar-winning actor Brendan Fraser, known for his performance in The Whale, is going to play the lead. Iconic, the Howard Stern show is likely to end its decades-long run as the host's 5-year contract is approaching towards expiry. Popular music festival Sunburn Festival has moved out of Goa after 18 years. Will be held in West Indian state of Maharashtra's Mumbai city for the first time. Animated feature film K-pop Demon Hunter smashed millions of views globally, becoming the 4th most popular English movie ever on Netflix. India's biggest movie production, YRF, has finally released a glimpse of the much-awaited Hrithik vs. Junior NTR dance-off Janabe Ali in the upcoming movie War 2. Bollywood classics like Pyasa and Kagaz Ke Phool are to be screened at NFAI to mark the 100th birth anniversary of late legendary actor Guru Dutt. Salakar, an engaging spy thriller series starring actors Naveen Kasturia and Moni Roy, is set to premiere on Jio Hotstar on 8th August. Netflix released poster of the upcoming movie Inspector Zende with Indian actors Manoj Bajpayee and Jim Sarab in the lead. Film is set in the period of 70s and 80s in Mumbai. South Indian superstar Rajinikanth completed 50 years in cinema. Fans adored Rajini's temple with actors' photos and movie posters. In sports, South Korean forward Son Heung-min has joined the Los Angeles FC in record-breaking Major League Soccer transfer, ending a decades-long stint at Tottenham Hotspur. Son, who joined Tottenham from Bayer Leverkusen in 2015, led the North London club to their first trophy in 17 years. Former Germany and Bayern Munich forward Thomas Müller has signed a season-long lead with Major League Soccer side Vancouver Whitecaps. Saudi Arabian champion Al Hilal have agreed a deal to sign Liverpool forward Darwin Núñez. The US Open on Wednesday announced $90 million as prize money for this year's final major, marking the largest purse in tennis history, up 20% from 2024. Karen Khachanov defeated top seed Alexander Zverev in a tightly contested battle to reach the finals of the Canadian Open 2025. Khachanov will face Ben Shelton in the finals, who beat Taylor Fritz in the other semi-final clash. Victoria Mboko set up title clash against Naomi Osaka in the Canadian Open after defeating world number 9 Elena Rybakina of Kazakhstan. Osaka defeated world number 17 Clara Tauson of Denmark to mark her first appearance in the WTA 1000 final since the 2022 Miami Open. The national selection panel announced a 14-player men's squad for the Australia's A tour to India next month. Australia A plays 2 4-day matches at the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow and 3 one-day games at the Green Park in Kanpur. New Zealand skipper Tom Latham has been ruled out of the second and final test of the series against Zimbabwe due to a shoulder injury. 4 years after singles glory at the Paris Olympics, Belinda Bencic and Alexander Zverev will be joining forces to chase the US Open glory in the mixed doubles. West Indies have unveiled a 15-member squad for the 3-match ODI series against Pakistan in Trinidad. The team will be led by batter Shai Hope, will be bolstered by the return of dynamic all-rounder Romario Shepherd. With that, we conclude this edition of Express News. Namaskar.